Already Relevance Prince Handsome here with
Dylan Wheeler.
another episode of Keeping It Handsome. Today we're going to recap the most recent show from BCCW, give us our thoughts on the matches, and what we think is next for the individuals that were involved in this past show. So let's get it started.
All right, let's get started.
All right, Dylan. So you had a pretty good night that night. You gained another client, right?
Yes, I did. Mr. El Nino.
Yes, El Nino, the notorious El Nino.
Yes, sir.
He's very well decorated in other promotions, so he's trying to come to DCCW and, have as much success as he has in other areas.
Yes, sir. That's a high caliber athlete, and I'm glad we got him.
Right, so he was the first match against one of his nemesis, Mikey Spandex, who made his debut at DCCW. So tell us a little bit about that match. What did you think, since you were the, pair of eyes that got to see majority of that match?
It was a pretty good match. Unfortunately, we did not come up with the win. Mikey Spandex over there kind of just ruined it for us, and fortunately, we just didn't get the win. But right now, we're working on getting better and working on trying to come back and get stronger.
So I'm not sure if you watched El Nino from where he started to now, and if you have, just let me know. But from what I've seen, he's come a long way. I think he's gotten much more comfortable in the ring, and I think that helped him out in the match. Going up as somebody with the caliber as Mikey Spandex, who has like a powerlifting background, who's just all around athletic, just has an endurance. In the past, that wasn't on El Nino's side, so he had to, use all his, different antics and stuff to, pull out, his smarts, which a lot of people don't use their smarts in the matches, but that's his benefit to, get the win. But, he's actually, gotten more accustomed to being in there, so that's kind of helped him as well as using his smarts. But what are some, some of the strong points you felt that he had showcased in this past match with Mikey?
Well, so just to answer that first question, I've known him for a long time, and I've seen him for years now, and he has become such a phenomenal athlete in that amount of time. And he's learned the ring. He knows how to work it now. He's used it to his advantage, and from what I've seen in this past match, he is in top form. Unfortunately, he just got the better of us, but like I said, he's really grown as an athlete and as a wrestler, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in other spots where he gets that W, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And
I really do think that, he could most definitely snatch up that United States Championship. It's the national championship. The national championship, or align himself with someone from the Legion of Pain or someone from somewhere and becoming a tag team champion, because he does have prior tag team champion. I think he's a two-time tag team champion with Go Wrestle. So, he's no stranger to the tag team division. He can, work something out to where he can, have an advantage and become the new DCCW tag team champion. But all in all, I was very proud of him in that match. I think he did great. I think both of them, even though they don't like each other, have great chemistry with one another.
Yes.
So they put on a great match. I'd love to see Mikey again at DCCW. There's so many people that I would love to see him go up against, whether it was Tony or Storm Thomas, Jason Falcone, Eddie Torres himself, Nick Brutal. There's so many different guys that he could get in the ring with that I would love to see him with. So it's exciting that, he had his debut and what's to come for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I see a lot of potential in him, and I might have a conversation with him about joining my group with the way things are going. But yeah, absolutely. He's a phenomenal athlete as well. He got that W, unfortunately. For us, we're trying to rework it. But yeah, a lot of big things for him.
And another thing I want to say too, he looked phenomenal in his gear. I don't know who did his measurements, but everything just fit him perfectly. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I know. That cape was
the whole thing,
absolutely phenomenal. And I actually had a conversation with him about it, and I, in the middle of negotiating with him, he explained to me about his the way his stuff is designed. Like, it's obviously superhero inspired, but the way the fabric is and the way it has a certain fabric and texture on it, it looks amazing.
Yes.
And I was really impressed with it. Unfortunately, he declined my negotiating, but
It happens. You got time. You got a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I got time. There's plenty of fish in the sea, but yeah, like I said, he did talk to me about it, and I was very impressed with it.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll see hopefully more of Mikey Spanets, but we most definitely see more of El Nino.
Absolutely.
Mikey, of course, like you said, got the win for that match, so pretty good match. So the next match was
Prince Handsome
yes,
versus ChaCha Charlie.
yes.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
It went great. I just beat a former DCCW heavyweight champion, so maybe that puts me in the ongoings to continue. Oh, never mind. It's Eddie Torres. Never mind. I'm horrified.
You might have a shot, man. Come on.
Oh goodness. Maybe if he maybe if ChaCha gets it, there. ChaCha, he came out and he had his little deal with ChaCha. So maybe there's something there. Like, did you see like what did you? How did you feel about that? Eddie coming out and came to support me, of course. I think he came out there right to come support me in my match.
Yeah,
and
who wouldn't support you?
Right.
Absolutely.
And ChaCha, got a little distracted, and I took that opportunity to go ahead and do what any other person would do.
Yeah.
And go ahead and pull him up for that 1, 2, 3.
Well, absolutely. ChaCha deserved to be interfered with. Absolutely. It's interesting. I think Eddie Torres is trying to get under his skin, seeing as how he beat him for the championship, and now he just can't seem to leave him alone. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the future. Hopefully, somehow, at some point, this gets resolved, and maybe in the next at the next show, or I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, because obviously Eddie isn't done with ChaCha. I mean, they had that past match where he regained the title back from ChaCha, so maybe there's still some unfinished business. So I'm assuming that's what's happening. So if that's the case, I'd love to see them go again because they had a phenomenal match with each other. With my feelings aside of him, having a match against him, I still, thought that match between him and Eddie was great. So I would love to see them go one more round. So maybe this is what this is leading to. He came out, and ChaCha wasn't thinking clearly, and yours truly
Got the W.
got the W. All right now. So
Hopefully that means big opportunities.
yes,
for you.
big opportunities. Maybe there's something next for Prince Handsome as far as going up the card. I feel like I'm constantly, they're giving me challenges, and I'm taking and doing the best I can, and I think this showed that I have some validation as far as being up there with some of those guys.
Absolutely.
So-
And maybe not a World Heavyweight Championship match.
No.
Maybe a national championship match. Maybe.
Storm Thomas. That'd be a hell of a fight. I got a lot of work cut out for me, but you know what?
Hey, if you could beat ChaCha Charlie, anything's possible. You can get a shot with Storm Thomas. I definitely think you got a chance. Absolutely.
I think I got him. Yeah, I'll take him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do it. So the next match, speaking of title matches, and this title match specifically made history. We crowned our inaugural DCCW Women's Champion, Catalina Perez.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, it was a singles bout, her versus Lexi Gomez, to crown the inaugural champion. And Catalina she was victorious. This is a long time coming for her. This being her first title that she's ever won. Lexi's like Lexi, multiple belts. She's like a champion like everywhere. So this was the first one for Catalina, so I know this is probably like a very big moment for her.
Absolutely. It's always a big deal, especially with this being the first ever champion of the company. I definitely think that's a huge deal. Absolutely. And I'm sure that she's absolutely elated to have something like that and under her belt. I mean, and wherever she goes next, whatever her future is, I'm sure that she's going to use that to her advantage and to make sure that she goes for bigger and brighter opportunities.
Yes, and speaking of, who she goes up against next, there's, so many possibilities of who could be next. I've thought that before, Solange Royale, Marina Tucker. Like, who do you think are some women that you'd like to see next at DCCW to contend for a title?
Honestly, I'd be happy with anyone that comes through that door and challenges her for it. There are so many women in the, out there, especially in Florida. It's wide open. So there's plenty of people that she can go against, and I'm looking forward to whoever decides to go through that door and says, I want to challenge Catalina Perez. and I'm looking forward to it.
And I think Catalina is a perfect defending champion, so, it only made sense, of the outcome of this match because, she had the perseverance, she had the dedication, the focus, because this is something that she's been yearning for. This is something she's been talking about from day one as far as DCCW being a women's champion. And, the answer was given, and we have a new DCCW women's champion.
Absolutely. But honestly, Lexi did come up short this match, but that doesn't mean she can't be the second ever champion. Honestly, the way she was wrestling tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if they said let's go again, and maybe we'll have a different outcome on the next time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think if we do have another match with them, it needs to be a stipulation match, like a ladder match, which both of them are no stranger to. They both have had a ladder match at Spinebuster before. So I think it has to be some stipulation involved. I think DCW sometimes be a little scared to, throw a little, specialty match. But I think, this is most definitely something that, makes sense to do, whether it's, a ladder match, last woman standing or Iron Woman match, something, to up the ante. I think that'd be great for those two.
Absolutely. I think a good brawling stipulation would be excellent for this. Probably Falls Count Anywhere. Like you said, the last woman standing, Iron Man. I definitely think something like that would be good for these two. They seem to have that bad blood against each other. And I think a good brawling stipulation would make a lot of sense for these two.
Yeah, and speaking of brawling, in the next match, two individuals that stood out to me in this match, no offense to the other guys, but maybe a little bit, was between Hayden Price and Jason Logan, right?
Jake Logan.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Been drinking a little bit, the White Claw has got me a little bit. But Jake Logan, who made a hell of a debut, he really, shined. He really, showed us who he is, what he's about, and he was very impressive, I must say. He took control of that match. He stood out. He brought the best out of Hayden. I think Hayden's been wanting that competition. He's been yearning for some. He's been in the tag team for a while, and I kind of think maybe he wants to go single, but he's still in that tag team predicament. But those two really stood out to me. I think I would love to see a match between those two men soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake Logan, this is his debut here, and to me, he made a huge impact by going after Hayden Price. That's a big guy in this company that's been here for a long time, and those two definitely seem to have a lot of animosity towards each other, which was very interesting to see. So maybe we can get a singles match and see what happens there. Yeah, a lot of good possibilities. And yeah, just Falcone, and they did a great job, and I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah, I really think that maybe they came in a little underestimating this guy because they didn't know much about him, and they thought maybe, we can take it easy. But Jake Logan was like, no, sir,
Nope.
y'all are going to work tonight. And he really brought the best out of especially Hayden. I think Hayden, to me, and Jake Logan are my MVPs for this show because they really put on a good show because it made me invested. I wanted to see more from those two guys. Sorry for Jason and the other guy, but they kind of like fizzled in the background because all eyes were on those two men in that ring.
Absolutely. The lights were definitely on those two, and unfortunately it just didn't for Falcone and his Jake Logan's partner. Fortunately, it just didn't really shine on them. But yeah, all in all, it was a great match.
Yeah, it was. And, I think, too, maybe it's time for Jason and Hayden to maybe go the singles route. I think both of them are phenomenal. As singles competitors, Jason Falcone is a Triple Crown champion, the only Triple Crown champion at DCCW. So I would love to see him back in the singles scene, maybe take on Jake Logan. Let's see what those two have to offer. But I'm ready to see, Hayden and Jason, go their singles ways.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that they need to, personally break up. I just think that there needs to be some sort of change between those two. They've been doing it for a long time, and they certainly need a change of pace. I think going in the singles routes can help them out in the long run. Maybe get some of that ring rust from relying on another person. I think that would be very helpful and beneficial to the two of them. So, and plus it would open up more singles matches for those two, which with all the new talent that's been coming up and popping up in DCCW, I definitely think that would be beneficial not just to them but everyone.
Exactly, yes. And then two, maybe DCW maybe trying to go a different as far as like maybe having a 3-way tag team match for the championship. Something different. To shake it up a little bit, go out the norm. Because I think everybody that are in that tag team division are capable of whatever's thrown at them. So I think they're ready for the chance just to see something different.
Absolutely.
These next couple shows, I'd love to see that. But again, top my hat off to Jake Logan. I think he's phenomenal.
Sure.
He looks phenomenal. He worked phenomenal. He just had a presence about him, and I would love to see him at DCCW again.
Absolutely. I wish I had a conversation with him. Fortunately, I did not. Oh, man. Fortunately. Hopefully next time I will.
Next time.
Yeah, yes, hopefully next time.
Right. So, the final match of the night, which I was shocked when I saw the card. I was like, this guy gets an opportunity over myself, over one of your clients, your worthy clients. Like, where did this come from? When he went out there and he announced, I thought they were joking. I thought, oh no, they're just like, he's cute. He's being cute right now. He's just talking. I didn't really think they were actually going to give him a match.
Of all the people that they could have given this opportunity to, I really don't think Jojo was the one that should get it. In my honest opinion, he's still fresh. He's still trying. I don't think he's earned his keep here. He's barely gotten through the door, and now he's getting a world championship opportunity. That doesn't make sense to me. Absolutely not. El Nino, who has been here for way longer and has, to me, better in-ring quality, why didn't he get it? Right. It doesn't make sense to me. But
Jojo, came to the defense of what was going on in the ring at the moment. It was Eddie Torres Day.
Yes, Eddie Torres Day.
Yeah, and he was, a bit celebration. So maybe he was being gracious. He gifted Jojo an opportunity. And, from what I saw, I think Jojo did a pretty decent job. What did you think, from what you saw? I think he did pretty good. I was actually shocked. I mean, he looked like a wrestler, which was like for the first time ever. He had a couple of moves in there.
Man, I'm shocked he lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
All in all, he did all right, I guess. I mean, Eddie completely destroyed him most of the match, but I guess he did get something in. So I guess I gotta give him some credit for the match. But I guess Eddie kind of saved it, made it a pretty somewhat decent match. But yeah, hopefully we don't see Jojo in this scene again.
Well, that's the question. What's next for Jojo? He got this opportunity. Are we going to see a rematch? Or are we going to see Jojo? Is he going to be a full-time wrestler? Is he not going to commentate anymore? There's just so many questions to ask. Like you said, he hasn't been wrestling that long. He started in the wrestling training class with me, and he just stopped. So, I kept going. And then, like people at El Nino, they've been hitting the ground running. They've been wrestling since they got thrown into wrestling. So it's going to be interesting what's next for Jojo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess hopefully he goes back to the table, but that's just me. So
all in all, DCCW was a great show. We got to see some great talent. Maybe some prospects for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I got my phone on speed dial, and I'm gonna keep an eye out.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for the next DCCW. It'll be in June. I'll put up updates as far as the date, the location, and things like that. So make sure you like and follow the Keeping It Handsome page as well as the Dylan Wheeler page.
Yes, sir.
He'll also, give you some content as well, whether it's about himself, his clients. What are some things you would put on your pages?
Honestly, I do post my negotiations, and I also try and have different segments with a bunch of prospects that I'm looking for, just so that we can get them out there. And that's one of my main goals, is to get people out there and get people noticed, and that's my goal. I also try putting out my thoughts on certain things, and maybe I need to make one on Jojo, because I feel like that time is coming. But I that's where I post, and be sure to give it a like and follow it.
All right, Irrelevance. Well, with that being said, this was another episode of Keeping It Handsome. I'm Prince Handsome.
And I am Dylan Wheeler.
And this was another episode. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good night.